we will use it for some hamstring stretches. Let me grab my belt. And let's start out lying down. And we'll move around from this position and kind of tune into the abdomen and tune into the back from here. So as you lie down, have the knees bent and the feet flat so that, there we go. So that you have the freedom. In this position, it's nice, especially since we know we're going to work with the low back. It gives us a bit more freedom to move the pelvis around. Start with the hands lightly right around, like feel for where your rib cage is, toward the sides or the side front of the rib cage. Placing the hands in a way that allows you to feel some of the movement in the lower rib cage. And of course, adjust the arms so that it's comfortable. I like to point my elbows out wide to the sides. That feels comfortable for me. See what works for you. And then as you settle in, let the back body rest on the mat, let the head rest, adjust the position of head and neck as needed. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, and breathing out. And feel the movement in the rib cage, the widening, the flaring of the ribs, not trying to force it, not even trying to change it at all, but rather using the hand position to listen to the breath, to listen to the movement. And as you listen to the movement, just notice, one of the wonderful things about the breathing is that we don't need to focus on it every second to continue breathing. That level of vigilance is not required. The breath will flow in and out without us needing to do anything about it. Now bring your knees one at a time to the chest and rock gently. It feels better in your back to place the feet flat on the mat and do windshield wipers side to side. That's always an option in lieu of hugging the knees all the way in. See what feels right for your body today. Good. Bring the right knee into the chest and stretch the left leg out long on the mat. Take a few breaths there. Left thigh dropping down, right knee hugging in. Shoulders shrug down away from the ears. Inhale and exhale. And keep sending the left thigh down toward the mat. The leg, the muscles of the straight leg, very active, hugging in around the bone. While you're here, take the bent knee in circles, with or without the hand, your choice. Go the other way. And draw both knees into the chest, change legs. Right leg stretches out, left knee hugs in, shrug the shoulders down, breathing in and breathing breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Now it's the right thigh that's dropping down toward the mat. The muscles of the right leg hugging in around the bone. The left knee hugging in toward the chest. And with the right leg staying put, circle the left knee around with or without the hand. Go the other way. And touch the foot down. Bring the right knee into the chest. Bring the left knee in again. Now your choice, if it feels nice in your body, pull the navel down and lift the head up. If it feels better to leave the head on your mat, do that. You might add a bit of resistance as if the legs want to escape from the hands, but they're not. And then slowly lower back down. Now, if you've got a belt or dog leash or bathrobe sash or anything kind of small and kind of long, you can even use a small towel for this. All we need is a little bit of length to go underneath the low back. It's going to give us some feedback. So I'm just going to sit up for a moment so you see where I'm going to place this. Right at where your natural curve is at your low back, that's where you're going to place it. You'll lie down, and when you let your low back arch a little bit, you should be able to kind of floss underneath it, move the belt freely. And when you engage your abs, we're going to pin it down so that it can't move. And that is the name of our game here. So knees bent, feet flat, as we were before. And as you lie down, let your pelvis tilt a little bit so that you're in a bit of back bend. You can even exaggerate it so that you feel that spot where, yeah, this is where the belt can move more freely. Now, breathe here, relax the shoulders, hold the belt wherever it makes sense. I like to spread my arms out a little bit, it feels more comfortable, and then I can slide back and forth. On an exhale, engaging the deep muscles that wrap around the torso, hug those in like you're cinching in the corset, and pull your belly button down. Try to tug the belt. This will tell you how much pinning you're doing. Try to tug the belt, but engage those muscles so that you can't. You can't pull the belt out from underneath, and then inhale and release the effort. The next time we do it, you'll pull with the opposite arm. Exhale, pulling, pinning, breathing. And just like that, inhale, relax. Remember to reset the neck, the head, relax those muscles. Exhale, see if you can isolate just the muscles in the torso without having the neck scrunch up or the shoulders get crowded around the ears. Release. We go in on the exhale, but we'll hold it as we continue to breathe. So an exhale helps us engage those muscles a little bit extra. Now, can you breathe in and out, but still pin the belt? Relax, release. One more time each side, a few breaths at a time. Exhale, pin the belt. Keep the belt pinned as you tug. Breathe in and out while keeping the belt pinned. Relax the hand, relax the pinning, last side. Exhale, pin the belt, tug, breathe. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, releasing. And now you can leave the belt there, and we'll move a bit more dynamically. So as you can release the arms, they don't need to help here. As we exhale, pull the navel down and press into the belt. As you inhale, neutral spine with the rhythm of the breath. Exhale, press the low back down into the belt. Inhale, relax into neutral. If it helps you, you can kind of tug a little with, like, wiggle the belt with one hand so that you can feel where it is. But the movement is continuous. We're not holding as we did before. Now let's go side to side. So rock across the back of the pelvis, still thinking of pulling the abdominal muscles in, going slowly as the pelvis tilts to one side. And then so slow and steady, pull the navel in over to the other side. Slow and steady, change sides. Slow and steady, change sides. Pulling the navel down as you go across. Pressing all the way across the back of the pelvis and the sacrum as you go. Now when you're ready, come to center. Let's go all the way around our pelvic clock dial. So our starting point, our 12 o'clock, is right where we've been pressing this whole time, at the low back. So press down into your belt. There's your 12 o'clock. And then making our way down to the tailbone, which is our 6 o'clock. So imagine the 1 and the 2 and the 3, we're off to the side. 4, 5, and 6, we're down at the tailbone. 7, 8, and 9 coming up the other side, and 10, 11, and 12 back to the belt. All the way around, and take your time. Exaggerate the movement. You can use not only the abdominal and back muscles, but also the feet to give a little more juiciness and exaggeration to the movement. We're aiming to move the hips, to engage the muscles in the torso in a way that makes the back feel nice. Go the other way. I know these days my back's been especially tight. Spent lots of time in front of the computer. Going the other way, generously, generously, and slowly, so you can feel your way around the circle. Of course, if there's a tender spot, take a little detour around it. Return to 12 o'clock. That'll be our last position, and hold it here like we did before. Take a hand and give a little tug. In fact, maybe tug a little on both sides. Feel where the belt is underneath you. Pull the navel down. Can the shoulders relax and the neck relax, even though the abdominal muscles are active? And then let that go. Stretch your right leg out. Keep your left knee bent. We're going to slowly and steadily work through the hips to the legs to the abs. Take your hands behind your head. You guys were with me yesterday. You'll recognize this sequence. We'll change it up a little bit. So as you exhale, you'll pull the navel in, and we'll come in 3 times each way. We'll do 3 different directions. So way number 1 will be the right leg starts out straight on the mat and neutral. And as we exhale, you're pulling the navel down, right? Pressing into the belt as you curl up, nose towards your knee. And then we'll come down. We'll do that 3 times. Then we'll go knee to the outside elbow. So the right knee comes up toward the right elbow. It's sort of a frog-like sit-up. And then we'll do that 3 times. And then the last one will be across, kind of like a bicycle twist. So we'll pull the navel down, and as the knee comes up, you'll lift up first as much much of your upper back off the mat as possible. And then that last little piece is you're bringing the opposite elbow toward the knee, nice and slowly, mindfully, as always, coming down. So 3 and 3 and 3. I'll kind of count out the tempo together. Take a breath in. Start with the abdominal muscles pulling down as the knee comes in. Nose lifts up and the knee comes to your face. And take your time, slowly, slowly, slowly. That's what makes this so good for your back. 2 more. Exhale, curl in. Press the belt with your low back. Curl your face up towards your knee. And slowly, 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 slowly stretch it out. 1 more time, curling in, press the low back, peel up the head, bring the knee to the face, and slowly, slowly, slowly stretch it out. Stay there for a moment, relax the arms. You can take them out from behind the head if you want. We'll change the position of the leg. Turn the whole right leg to the right. So your thigh, your kneecap, your toes all turn out to the right. As you exhale, the frog-legged sit up. Pull the navel down as before. The knee and the elbow come toward each other, and then we slowly, slowly, slowly lengthen back out. Just like that. Pull the navel down and knee to the same elbow. Slowly curling up. And slowly, slowly, slowly back down. Let's do it again. Curling up. Get lifted as much of the body, back body up off the floor as possible, and then take your time coming down. Now the last version is the twist. So internally rotate your right thigh and kneecap and toes facing in towards your midline. And as you exhale, pull the navel down, peel up as high as you can, and add the twist at the very last. Unwind everything. Exhale, pulling the navel down, coming across as you go up. And slowly, slowly, slowly back out. Last time. Pulling in and across. And slowly, slowly, slowly back out. From here, relax the arms for a moment, bend the knees, feet go out wide. And windshield wiper for a moment in between sides. Let the thigh bones move in the hip joint. Notice if one side feels a little different than the other right now. We've moved a lot on the right side, but not so much on the left. Is there a difference in how long or warm or free or tight one side feels compared to the other? Come back to center, bring the feet back in, hands back into our sit-up ready position, and the left leg will stretch out long on the mat. So this is where my hip flexors are so tight these days. Just stretching my leg out right now feels like, oh, I've got a big hip flexor stretch. So from here, as you exhale, pull the navel down and curl up, bringing the nose straight in toward the face. And of course, take your time as you lower down. You may have noticed that planted foot is a helper here. Exhale, press the low back down, curl up. And slowly, slowly, slowly back down. Take your time, last one. Enjoy it. Or don't enjoy it, but linger. And slowly, slowly, slowly back down. Now externally rotate. Remember that means the left thigh, kneecap, and toes all turn out some. And as you exhale, pull the navel down and bring the knee to its own elbow. Slowly, slowly, slowly. See if you can keep a touch of the external rotation, even as the leg goes down and straightens out. Same thing. Pull the navel in, curling up, knee to its own elbow, elbow even reaching for the knee, and then slowly, slowly, slowly stretch it out. Maybe this side is more steady. Last time, pull the navel in. Maybe this side feels more wiggly and wobbly. And slowly, slowly, slowly back down. And last version, across we go. Pull the navel in. Oh, internally rotate the leg and then pull the navel in and bring the knee to the opposite elbow, twisting the torso and slowly unwinding and stretching out. And again, pull the navel in and come across. Slowly stretch out. One last time. Pull the navel in, come across and hold and hold. And slowly stretch it out. Relax the arms, bend the knees, find your windshield wiper position one more time, and sweep side to side. Take the feet as wide as they want to be. They can be mat width or even wider if that feels good for you today. As you tip your knees over to the left, reach your right arm overhead, long on the right side of the body, the abdomen, the front of the thigh. Release that, take the knees to the other side. Opposite arm reaches up if you like. Knee reaches away from the raised arm. Long on this side of the abdomen. In front of the thigh. And come back to center. And walk the feet in. Hug the knees. Open the arms out wide. And take the knees side to side. Now you're in charge here. If it feels better to keep the knees in close, you'll keep them close to the chest. If you want to have this be a bit more active, if you want to work more, take the legs further away. But still, since we've got still that belt underneath us, keep the connection. Can you keep the abs on and a sense that you're at least partially trying to pull down toward the belt? Not so much that you're completely curled and tucked under, just enough that the muscles are working. And side to side again. Take your time. Extend the legs to wherever it feels like, oh, this is interesting. And back to center. And then bring the feet down and we'll come up, but in order to come up, you'll choose how you do it. If it feels lovely to hold behind the thighs, give the feet a little bit of a kick and rock along the whole length of your spine, you'll do that. If you're like, oh, this thing that's underneath my back is now very noticeable and I don't want it there, move it out. We can get rid of that. We won't need it for now. So you decide if just a little bit of this, like a knee swing, feels better, limit it to the knee swing. If you want more of the back involved, treat it like it's a way of massaging your back. If you want more rock, you can add more rock. And then if you want to skip that forward and back rock, you can rock side to side. And when you're ready, by whatever route you choose, come on up to sit. Hi, swing yourself around and come to hands and knees. From hands and knees, shrug the shoulders down. And let's make circles. Circles with the hips, circles with the shoulders. Go the other way. Lean the hips back toward child's pose, stretching the arms out in front of you. Deep breath here. You can leave the palms down, or You might like to lift up to the fingertips. And check to see that your head's in a comfortable position. It might be in the air, it might be resting on your mat. If one of those positions feels better for your head and your neck, then go with the one that feels better. You can always support your head if that's a better position for your neck. Walk the hands over to the right. Breathe while you're here. If your left hand wants to walk on top of the right, maybe let it. And then notice, does the whole torso want to twist? Can you lift the right side of the rib cage just a wee bit so that the back is nice and level and we get the most out of the side bend here. Take another breath or two in between the ribs, up toward the armpit. Walk to the other side. Deep breath here. Does the hands walk over to the left? Maybe the right hand steps on top of the left. Notice if the right rib cage is spinning up to the sky. Spin the left side a little bit up, just to the point where the back is flat or level, left and right side, and you get the most out of the side bend. Sometimes we take little pieces of the movement, restricting the way we move so that we can lean into one particular area, one particular way of moving. So we're looking for the pure side bend here without the twist, because we'll get both of those in a moment. Walk the hands back to center. Ease your way back to hands and knees. Hands under the shoulders, and right leg stretches back. We're easing our way in here. Toes tucked under, and use the ball of the foot to push off as you come forward. Get a toe stretch, and then use the hands and the torso to lean back so you get a calf stretch. Maybe you feel this down the back of the thigh too. I don't know. Maybe you feel it in the sole of the foot. And come back to neutral. We'll take this knee into the chest. Pull the knee in and stretch it out. Pull the knee in and reach the leg back. Pull the knee in one more time. Hold it here, hold it here, hold it here. Take the right leg back. 3 more times to the outside arm. Right knee goes to the right upper arm. And then reach it back. Right knee goes to the upper arm. Pull it in and reach it back. Right knee goes to the upper arm. It stays there this time, and the foot comes with it. Scooch and walk the foot in. Leave your foot outside your hands. So the right foot is just outside the right hand. We'll squiggle ourselves into a hip stretch from here. I'm at a mat. You can walk your right foot forward. You can walk your left knee back until you're going to go low first. See how it feels resting on your hands. Let the torso tilt forward. If the knee wants more padding, add your blanket. If it feels interesting, come down to your forearms. What's that like? You might be sort of somewhere in the middle of hands and forearms. Use the bend in the elbows to adjust how low the torso goes. And then what does it feel like if you lean the knee, like let your knee tilt away from your body so you're on the pinky edge of your foot? Ooh, what's that like, honey? How's that feel in the inner thigh? Breathe in, breathe out. And then ease your way back to neutral. Stay here low, but come up onto your hands if you're down low near the forearms. Leave your left hand there. Take your right hand to your right thigh. We'll use this as our starting position to rotate. So first, get as long as you can. Usually we think of lengthening from the crown of the head to the tailbone. Lengthen all the way down to your left kneecap. And then turn your chest toward your bent knee. And breathe. Oh, yeah. You can stay right here with the hand on the thigh, or you can raise the arm in the sky if you like. Definitely breathe. Now, if either you want to ask your back leg to work more, or you want to get off your back knee, tuck the toes under, zip up the belly, raise the back knee. It's not mandatory, it's just an option. Definitely breathe, whichever thing the back knee is doing. Take another inhale, and as you exhale, unwind the arms, bring the back knee down if it's lifted. Walk the hands up to the right thigh. Breathe here. Hello. So now we're upright. Zip up the belly so the navel is lifting up and the tailbone is reaching down. We're aiming now to keep the pelvis upright as we glide a bit forward. Right hand on the top of the thigh, left arm up in the air. And we'll side bend. I'm going to turn around so it's a bit easier to see. Side bending here. Zip up the belly. Let the hips glide forward if you like. And see if you can feel in the front of the back thigh some of the hip flexor stretch. If you want, add the other arm. So you're lengthening up as well as going over to the side. Breathe while you're here. So I'm not trying to go down so much as I'm like, how lifted and long can I be on this side? Good. Come up to center, take a breath in. Stay there, lift the navel. If you like, lift the gaze. Maybe it feels better if you take your hands behind your head, kind of like a cozy little sit-up, but you're in a back bend. Lift the navel, lift the heart, and then reach up. Bring your hands back down to your mat, and take the right leg back behind you. From here, you choose. You can take child's pose. You can take puppy dog with the shins on the mat and the arms stretching out. Or if you're like, oh, I would love a down dog. This is a nice time to do that. Tuck your toes underneath and lift your hips and breathe. Plant the hands and lengthen the spine. Lift the tops of the thighs up and back if you're in down dog. And whatever position you're in, find a comfortable spot for your neck. Breathing in and breathing out. Slowly lower the knees to the mat. Hands underneath the shoulders. Shoulders down as well. Pull the left knee into the chest. Draw it in, round the back. Oh, whoops, I forgot a little part. Stretch the left leg back first. Let's do the toe stretch and the calf stretch. Toes tucked under, push off the ball of the foot, and then lean back into the calf stretch and stay in the calf stretch for a moment. Oh, what's that like? What's that like on this leg? Check in with your neck. You can turn the head. Now back to our starting position. Pull the left knee into the chest and reach the leg back slowly, yet powerfully. Pull the knee into the chest. Reach back with the foot. And one more time, pull the knee into the chest. And reach it back now to the outer arm. Pull the knee to the left arm. And reach back. Pull the knee to the arm. And reach back. Last time, we're going to hold it here. And then squiggle step the foot through. Outside the hands. Give yourself some nice space between the left foot and the right knee. You might scooch them a little further apart. We'll start out low. Come to the hands. You'll still zip up the belly, but this is more the stretchy part of it. Bend the elbows. If the elbows are willing to bend to the point where the forearms touch the mat, then rest on the forearms instead of the palms. Definitely breathe. And then explore. What does it feel like to let the knee fall out to the side so you're on the baby toe edge of the foot? Breathe here. Inhaling. Exhaling. Bring the knee back to upright. Walk yourself back to your hands. Right palm stays on your mat. Left hand goes to the top of the thigh. Get nice and long. So I'm trying to, I may or may not make a straight line, but I'm thinking a straight line where the crown of my head is tugging long and the tailbone all the way down to the knee that's on the mat are getting longer in the other direction. Now gently rotate toward the bent knee. Breathe while you're here. Add the left arm to the sky if you wish. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Take another breath. Unwind the arms. Now, plant the feet, and if need be, the hands, oh, I forgot the little knee thing. Ah, yes. So come back into the twist for just a sec, with the option of raising the back knee if you wish. You don't have to, but if you want to, make sure you get that in. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Bring the hands down. Bring the back knee down. Now, walk your hands up to the front thigh. Zip up the belly. Breathe. From here, raise the arms. Inhale. Up. Keep the right hand overhead. Left hand can go to the thigh. Lift the navel in and up. Pelvis is lifting up, facing forward. Side bend. Remember, we're aiming to lift the belly button up as we lengthen over to the side, not trying to go downward. If you like, add the other arm, again, aiding in the lift and the length. Lifting, lengthening. Lifting, lengthening. Take another breath, right here, and back to upright. Now, if you like, bend the elbows, hands behind the head, supporting the head. Lift the navel, lift the chest, point the elbows, bring them in a little closer and point the elbows up to the ceiling. Breathe and breathe. Keep the head there. Reach the arms up to the sky. Breathe. And then slowly come all the way up. Bring the hands back down. Take your choice. Child's pose or kneeling puppy or downward facing dog. So however feels right for you, come to a neutral, well, not neutral, but come to a symmetrical position. Something that's equal on the left and the right. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Curl yourself forward, bring the knees down, and Lower slowly onto your belly. If you want this to be more like a knee push-up, you can do it that way. You can do it any way you like. And when you come down onto the belly, if the floor is not so comfortable or your low back doesn't love this so much, you can grab your blanket and put it right underneath the pelvis. So yes, it will lift your butt up in the air if it's in the right spot. And the idea is it gives you, even though your bum's up in the air, it gives you a little extra space for your low back. It's not mandatory, but it might if your back doesn't like being flat, or if the floor feels hard, it can add to the comfort. All right. From here, reach back with your legs powerfully. Have your arms in a cactus position. They're going to be outside of the mat rather than pinned in close. So take up space. You're free to take up space. From here, while your legs are reaching back, zip up your belly, send your pubic bone down to your mat or your blanket. Your glutes should be working. The muscles of your legs should be working, even though the legs are not moving anywhere. They're very awake and alive. And imagine your hands, the forearms and the palms that are on the floor, are isometrically pulling backward so that your chest can start to pull forward. And it's pulling forward, your forehead starts to come up off the mat. It's not trying to lift on its own, it's just coming up because the chest is lifting. The neck and the head are going along for the ride. And then slowly lower down. Your legs are still active and you're curling, lowering down. Let's do that again. Legs are active. Peel yourself up. Pause there. Pulling back with the forearms to send the chest forward. Slowly lower down. Let's do that again, but we'll stay. Pulling the chest forward. The arms feel like they're dragging back. Excuse me, keep the legs really active. Raise the arms up off the mat. Take the hands a little higher and the elbows a little lower. Can you feel the muscles in the upper back? Oh yeah. If yes, this is the work they need. And then slowly come down. Pick up your belt. You can relax the legs for a moment. We'll pick up our belt and do a different variation of this pose with the arms reaching back. So I'm going to show the arm position. Now you can always, of course, interlace your fingers and clasp behind the back. That's just fine. It's not comfortable for all humans, so the belt will help to get more into the shoulders. If you find that once your hands are interlaced, you're stuck there and you can't move the rest of the body, that is a good signal that the hand position is too close. We want to be able to move in the shoulders, and this belt will allow that space. So when the hands are further apart, now, oh, maybe I have some room to do this, to raise the arms up off the back. So that's where we're headed. On our bellies, just as we were before, but with a belt, holding a belt behind the back or hands clasped gently behind the back. The choice is yours. And I will turn my palms to face each other. They could be either way. They're fine. Hold however works for you. Zip up the belly. Send your pubic bone down to the mat. Legs stay active. They also stay in the same place. Create some resistance, like you're going to tug the belt. And then zip up the belly even a little more. Pull your chest forward. Along the way, it lifts your head. And then raise your arms up away from your back. Breathe here. Tug the belt. Lift the chest. Zip up the belly. Hold all the things. Except the breath. Don't hold the breath. Good. Keep the space in the back of your neck. The chest is reaching forward. Yeah, that's good, Connie. Chest is reaching forward a lot, but the head not so much. And then slowly, slowly, slowly lower down, relax. Let's do one more, then we come out. Hold the belt or clasp the hands. Zip up the belly, legs are active. Peel your way up. The chest reaches forward a lot. The back of the neck stays long, so we're not trying to lift the head especially high. Your gaze will be toward your cheeks. Breathe. Maybe a little bit out in front of you. Breathe. Breathe. And slowly lower down. Remove your belt. Set it off to the side. And slowly tuck the toes underneath. Press the floor away. Ease your way to child's pose. Hips back. Now, again, same options as we've talked about. You can be in kneeling puppy. You can be in down dog if you love. It is your practice. It is your body. You get to choose. Unwind. Return to our hands and knees position. Let's do a little something twisty. And you might like our blanket friend again as a headrest as we come into thread the needle, the shoulder edition. So take the left hand, dive it all the way through behind the right wrist. And your head will either rest on your blanket or your shoulder and your head will rest on your mat. Adjust so it works for you. If this feels like too much pressure on any part of the downside, right? Because there's a lot of, this is an inversion as well as a twist. So if it's a lot of pressure on the neck, the head, the shoulder, slide back, make it more like child's pose. Reduce the pressure by flattening things out a bit so there's not such a height difference between your bum up high and your head down low. Most of all, breathe. Find what works for your body. And breathe. Twist will make this more challenging to breathe. Where can the breath go? When you're ready, press the right hand and slowly come up. You might roll the shoulders a little and change sides. Dive the other arm all the way through. Same thing here. Adjust the head and neck position, the height of the hips as needed so that it works for your body on this side today. Right? Sometimes one side will have a clearly different preference than the other. Listen to this side. Listen breath by breath. What serves your body right now? As deep a breath as you can find while in the twist. When you're ready, press the floor away and Unwind yourself. Let's walk the hands forward. We'll do one more with the upper back in here. So this time, reaching out forward. Our puppy dog previously was more like down dog with a long straight spine, but this time you might widen the hands a little bit more and let the chest melt down like you're trying to make a saggy hammock. It doesn't sound very appealing, but a really curved arch here. Let the chest melt, lift the navel a little to the spine. So your low back, while it's in a natural back bend, has some nice support from the abdominal muscles. So that curve from the low back up through the mid and upper back where your rib cage is, imagine it's one nice long curve. You slowly bring the hands in, press the floor away, let the head hang. Let's do a little bit of our rabbit neck stretch. Place the top of the head down. Now this is where I'm going to loosen my ponytail. If you have a hair clip or something near the crown of your head, you may need to move it. Hands are alongside. They're not quite even with the head. They're a little bit back toward the knees, but not, they're closer to the head than they are to the knees. That makes sense? Press into the floor and roll from your forehead up to the crown of the head. So the crown of the head is on the mat. Back to the neck lengthens. And then roll your way back to the forehead again. So the hands are in control of making this feel like there's some pressure on the head, like massagey pressure, not strain on the neck. The hands are here to support, so it's not too much for the neck. You go forward and backward, take your time. Make one last slow trip all the way to the crown of the head and stay there. And back. Slowly take child's pose for a moment. Rest, make a pillow with your hands. Rest the forehead on the hands. Take a few more breaths and gradually ease your way back to hands and knees. So we're gonna take a seated position. Swing your legs around, and I'm going to come a little closer. There we go. So you can have your blanket underneath your hips if that feels better, or you can sit directly on the mat. We'll fold the legs in. One leg folds in quite a bit, a little more, like usually when we're in seated with the legs crossed, we'll aim for, it's called Sukhasana, the legs cross at kind of the mid-shin. But this, we're gonna really kind of pull one foot in as close as it's willing to get. The heel comes close to your crotch. Doesn't have to touch, but it comes in kind of close. And then the other foot folded in as close as it goes. And it's a little bit of a wider knees out position because I'm not trying to tuck my feet underneath me. I'm not putting the soles of the feet together, but I'm almost doing that. Does that make sense? So the heel of my front foot is actually on the top of almost on the front of my ankle. Now, if you're like, oh, well, this is terrible, then adjust the leg position to one that feels more tolerable for you. So if this is miserable, you can choose soles of the feet together, knees out to the side. That might be nice, or a regular cross-legged position of your choice. And now start to come forward. And our aim here will be to stretch the back in a tolerable way. So if you're like, well, I just feel stuck here. What does it feel like if you take the feet maybe further away? Does that free up the pelvis to tilt forward a bit and come with you? Maybe lift the bum up on a blanket. I find that my back loves to do a back bend, and if I sit on a blanket, my low back finds its way, like it's trying to be sneaky, finds its way into a back bend. So that's why I don't use one here. So feel into your own body. What gives you some nice length? What we're aiming for truly is this, just a feeling of space through the low back, where it may be tight from sitting, from walking, from life. And maybe it gets a little more comfortable or a little less unpleasant after you've been there for a while. If it's getting more unpleasant, feel free to slightly dial back. If the misery is physical, if the misery is inside your head, keep breathing. Sometimes we get wrapped up and it's all this, the self-talk that is causing the suffering more so than the physical position in the body. So one of our goals as yogis in the practice is to keep noticing. Notice, is there a physical sensation that needs attending to so that I'm taking care of myself? Or is my mind or is my emotional body having a little bit of a spaz out? Do I need to back up in order to take care of myself there? Or can I stay here and take a deep breath? Does that help? And gradually make your way out. Gradually make your way out. Siri thinks I'm talking to her. Come on back up. Walk your feet out wide. Bring your knees to upright. Feel free to use your fingertips on the mat. Sit tall. Walk your feet out wide. Mat width or a bit wider. And rock the knees side to side. You can always reposition the feet if it feels like you can't quite get the leverage to move side to side or things feel stuck. Move the feet at any time so you can get the sway from one side to the other. Come back to center. Now let's come on back to the mat. We'll use our blankets once again and we'll see about an inner thigh stretch here. So let's see how this works. Take your blanket. I'm going to fold mine lengthwise. So it's like that. And place it on one side of my mat. And then I'm going to place one, let's say the right shin and the knee on it. The other leg, it's like I'm in an uneven hands and knees position. Now, I'm going to come down to my forearms and I'm going to walk my non-blanket leg way back. I'm going to scooch a little over so it's more the inner leg that's resting on the blanket. It's almost like I'm sleeping on my belly and I've got a pillow underneath the knee. I'm going to breathe. How you guys doing over there? So? So see about getting length on the straight leg side. I've got my left arm reaching. And then the knee is on the blanket. Now, how does it feel if you turn your, turn your chest and your abdomen more to the mat so that You might get some stretchy something in the inner thigh. Now, if you're like, oh, that's plenty of stretchy something, I don't want to go any further, perfect. You're just where you need to be. Breathe while you're here. If it's comfortable to rest the forehead on your hands, then do that. Now slowly walk your hands out. Press into the mat. Find your way to hands and knees. And we'll take our all fours position once again with one leg on the blanket. Put the whole shin on there. And the other leg off the blanket. The non-blanket leg will reach back until, and you come down on your forearms, and you come all the way down, let the knee go out to the side, so it's the inner knee, the inner shin, the inner foot that are on the, that rest on the blanket. And the other side of your body is stretched out long on your mat. You'll start out facing a little bit more sideways toward your bent knee, a little bit like you'd be lying down sleeping, perhaps in this position. Maybe it's not your sleeping position, but it's a sleeping position. And then, if it feels okay, use your arms for leverage and zip up the belly and turn your abdomen and your chest more toward your mat. So now, oh, we've got some length in the hip flexors on the straight leg. And you might feel more of an inner thigh lengthening on the knee that's out to the side. And just see, how is this for you right now? If you want more of the inner thigh lengthening, you can scooch and wriggle yourself further away from the blanket. The further you go away from the blanket, and the flatter your abdomen faces the floor, the mat, the more you may feel this in the inner thigh. I notice a lot in the hip flexors. So I'm going to breathe there. But again, that's because that's probably the tightest area in my body. So you may feel this in a different spot. Walk the hands underneath, press the floor away. If you happen to have missed the first side, you'll turn yourself around and do the other leg briefly so that you feel even on both sides of the leg. When that's done, you'll move your blanket off to the side and come to reclining on your mat. Or just low and slow today. Lie down on your mat, hug your knees, and either rock side to side or do windshield wipers. That's it. Touch the feet down and leaving your feet where they are, pressing into your feet, scooch your torso over to the right side. So you're a little bit to the right side, crooked on your mat. And now take your right leg up in the air. Oh, let's get a little hamstring stretch here. So you might, if your belt is handy, this is a nice place to be. You can be crooked or you can bring your foot in a little bit, your bottom foot in a little bit. And take your right leg up in the air and breathe. Shrug the shoulders down. Hold wherever it feels like your neck and shoulders don't have to do a lot of work. Notice if you have a death grip on your belt. Only hold tightly enough that the hands stay there. Breathe. The knee might be bent. Aim for feeling some stretch in the back of the leg, whatever position that means for the leg. Relax the shoulders and the neck. Let the low back lengthen. And breathe. Now, gather up your belt in your left hand. We're not going to take the whole leg off to the side, but we're going to use this connection of the hand and the belt like it will direct the leg. So bend your right knee generously. Cross slowly your right leg over the left. And now you can, of course, let go of the belt at any time, but we're going to see about using the cross legs to get ourselves into a twist. Slowly, oh so slowly. Let your hips follow the leg. Maybe the foot, the leg touch the mat or the floor. You can release the belt once your foot has landed. If the foot doesn't land, let your torso rotate a bit more so the inner edge of your foot can come down to your mat. And then see what your arms and your head and your neck want to do. Our focus today has been the low back, but you can absolutely open up the arms, support the head and the neck. Breathe here. Inhaling, exhaling. Take another breath in, and as you exhale, zip up the belly and slowly come back to center. Unwind your legs, squiggle yourself back to center, and maybe squiggle over a little so your torso is a bit to the left. And take your left foot up in the air, in the belt. Again, your hamstrings decide how straight or bent the leg needs to be for the foot to stay high. And then adjust where you're holding so there's no death grip. If you feel the stretch mainly up by your sitting bone, up by your butt cheek, do not lean into that. It's tenderness up there. There is nothing you want to stretch up in there. Aim to stretch in the belly of the muscle, in the middle of the back of the thigh, in the calf. You might feel this in the sole of the foot. That's okay too. And stay away from your butt in terms of the stretch. You do whatever you want with your butt otherwise. Take a breath in and out. Check in with your shoulders and your neck and your jaw. Check in with your back. Let it be long and spacious. If you've got a death grip on the belt with your hands or with your neck, ease up a bit. Breathe. Now hold the belt in your right hand, bend the left knee generously, and slowly, I'm going to take my other arm out to the side, a little bit of support. Slowly cross your bent leg. Your hip will follow it. We're not trying to keep the hips down. Keep taking the leg across. Your hip will follow it. Keep taking the leg across until the big toe side of your foot finds the floor. And once you're in the twist and your foot has landed, feel free to release the belt. And breathe. Bottom leg does whatever it wants to. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Take another couple of breaths. Ease your way back. Sorry, there's some traffic noise there in the background. As you unwind, set the belt aside, wriggle yourself back to the middle of your mat. Hug your knees and rock. And see what your body'd like to do before Shavasana. Maybe happy baby would feel good. Maybe hugging the knees. If it feels good to lift your nose up to your knees, you might do that. If it feels good to do windshield wipers, anything soft. When you're ready, ease your way into a comfortable position for Shavasana, our final resting pose. And since we've been using a blanket today, perhaps the blanket rolls up and tucks behind the knees. Or if you feel a little cool, since it's been a bit cooler lately, you might cover yourself with a blanket. Adjust the position of your head and your neck so you're comfortable. And take a breath in. Let it go through the mouth. Take another breath in. And let it go. One more time. Inhale. And let it go. deepen the breath. Bring movement back to the hands and feet. Inhale and take a generous stretch. Move and stretch and yawn. Draw one knee into the chest, then both knees hug into the chest. Rock gently side to side. Make your way to one side and pause. Use your hands to come up slowly to a seated position. And as you find your way to seated, to upright, bring your palms together. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be safe and at ease. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, everybody.